welcome everyone to the HVAC Podcast. I have a G right here, Alan Norris. G stands for gangster, by the way, Alan. Alan Norris right here with Alan Norris HVAC. He has been in the game for 20 years. He used to be a mad scientist and a chemist. Didn't like working indoors anymore, and he just had an itch, and he's like, I want to be outdoors. So we got into the HVAC field. We're going to learn a little bit more about him, but this guy is probably has the best connection to his customers that I've ever met. I actually personally went out to Forsyth County, Georgia, out there in his areas, those stomping grounds, and I saw the personal connection he had with everyone. And I think that a lot of HVAC business owners can learn a lot from Alan. So Alan, I don't know if I missed anything, but introduce yourself to our audience here at the HVAC Podcast.
Yeah, so the official introduction is, hey, everybody, this is Alan Norris, your favorite contractor from beautiful Forsyth County, Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
But the unofficial, how it really works in the real world is that, hey, nice to meet y'all. What's going on? Tell me a little bit about what's going on and just listen.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make a connection. And it's got to be real. People don't know air conditioning or plumbing or whatever. But what they do know is people.
Mm-hmm.
And so they can kind of sniff out whether or not you're honest, you're shooting them straight. And they make huge judgments, man. And that's the difference between getting in and getting their trust and doing business with them. Is just making an honest connection. And it can be anything, man, anything. They just want a connection. They just want to feel like you are a real human being. If you just roll up on them, selling, man, they're like the immune system in the presence of a virus, man. They just
blows up.
It doesn't have to be that way, man. It just doesn't. And so my whole program from the beginning was just, hey, just tell the truth and treat people like you like to be treated and see what happens.
100%. Where did that come from? Is that just how you're built, or from other experiences? Where'd that come from?
Well, I'll tell you a story that I tell a lot of times. So when I was a kid, like I was about 14 or 15 years old, my dad said, get in a truck. Okay. I want you to follow me over to Dublin, which is like 20 miles away. Okay. I didn't even have a driver's license, right?
Mm-hmm.
We lived in the country. Follow me to Dublin. Okay. My dad said so that's what I did. We go and we drive, it's like 20 miles, and we go over to the next big town over. And I'll follow him into the shop, and it's a tire shop. And, he gets out. He talks to this gray-haired old man. He probably wasn't that old. Seemed really ancient to me. But, this gray-haired old guy, he was there in the tire shop. And he comes and gets in the truck, and he says, move over. You don't have a driver's license. Okay, Dad.
Yeah.
We get in the truck, and I said, what's going on here, Dad? He says, well, I got to get the front end fixed on this truck. I said, Dad, we pass so many tire shops on the way here. I mean, like, I can't even count them. Why do we go there? He said, because Ep Lake owns this store, and he's an honest man. He never tries to sell me something I don't need. And when he works on something for me, when I come and pick it up, man, I know it's fixed. He listened to what I said. He did what he's supposed to do, didn't try to upsell me, just listened to my situation and fixed it.
Yeah.
And he's an honest man. Well, I thought to myself, man, that's crazy. We still drove 20 miles because I was a 14, 15-year-old kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I started paying for things myself, a few years later, I began to realize, man, hey, not everybody fixes your problem. They still take your money, but they don't fix your problem. And I began to think, Ep Lake is an honest man. And it really had a big impact on me. And I said, hey, if I ever work for myself, I want to be like Ep, So I started taking my stuff to Ep. And it was just like my dad said, man, he's honest, simple. Tell me what's going on. Yeah, I recommend this, or this. And, he'd fix it. And it was fair. He didn't try to gouge anybody. You had a fantastic business. Had people waiting to get in the shop.
Yeah.
So I would say as an introduction to a business person, that was my first real introduction. And I would see that repeated in some success, some not. But where I saw it fail, man, it just crashed and burned. People they just weren't authentic. They weren't honest. And people, they may not know what your business is, but they can smell that a mile away.
Yeah. People can smell dishonesty, and it's all about energy. Even when you're selling, if you're not confident and you're not showing people that you're trustworthy and you're trying to screw people over, people can smell it right away. So that's amazing that you had that first interaction with someone like that mechanic. Ed was his name.
Yep. EPP. Yep. Dublin, Georgia. Lakes Alliance.
That's a unique name. Yep. So that's amazing. So I saw that firsthand with you on how you talked with everyone and how your customers, your customers talked about you. But what would you tell someone that has a temper, that has a hard time talking to people, that only wants to just go there, service the unit, and leave? They don't even want to talk to the homeowners. Like, what would you coach someone in that way? Because service is a good way to grow your business. And if you don't have good service, you're not going to have a good time growing your business. That's my belief.
Well, I would say this. You need to think about selfishness. Selfishness. Am I being selfish? Am I trying to get what I want? And to hell with what they want, what they need? What you need to do first is you need to say, hey, listen, I'm going to be a selfless listener. Hey, I'm Alan Norris. Appreciate you calling. Tell me what's going on. And they'll tell you all kinds of crazy things, man. They'll tell you all kinds of crazy things. Some of it may make sense. Some of it may not make sense. Mm-hmm. But listen, just listen. It may be helpful, maybe not. But just listen. Because by listening, you are establishing trust. And I'm not saying this as a trick. It is the height of selfishness just to bum rush somebody you've never met and say, I know everything about what you need. It's their house, dude. They know what they need. The daughter's room is hot. Son's room is freezing. And it never works in our room either way. Listen. Be unselfish. Listen to the story. And then begin to formulate how you can fix the problem. They don't know air, they don't know plumbing, they don't know electrical, but they understand if you're listening to them. That's the first step. And it's unnatural. You're like, man, I'm in a hurry. I got 10 calls to get to today. I ain't got time to listen to all this stuff about whoa. Listen. Take time, listen. I'll tell you, there's two things you can't fool. You can't fool cats and you can't fool babies. You might get over old mom and dad, but if the cat and the baby are looking at you sideways, man, you're done.
Yeah, 100%. Babies know, man. So I imagine you get calls from homeowners saying, oh, this other HVAC company, whatever, right? Oh, this other HVAC company overquoted me, didn't listen, bad text. Because I see that you have a lot of integrity and honest in your business, and you get a lot of other people calls. So what are the types of problems that other HVAC companies have that require you to come and fix that problem or make the homeowner feel better? That way our audience doesn't make those problems in their area.
So I think that the biggest problem that people have in connecting with those customers is taking enough time. Because, hey, we sit here sometimes and we're going, geez, man, have we been blacklisted? Are we ever going to get another call again? What's going on? And then all of a sudden the phone starts ringing and go, man, we're booking 15 calls today, and boom, 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 boom. We're going to go and get 15 calls, and we're going to get 80% of those calls booked, and blah, 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 blah. You have to suspend that somewhat, because your customer wants to know that you care about their problem. If they sense that you only care about how much you can get them to sign on the bottom line for today, you open yourself up to a tremendous amount of rejection. Does that make sense?
100%.
You got to listen. It all comes back to being an empathetic listener, because they just want a solution for their problem, and they don't know what their problem is. And so you got to take time to make sure they understand what their problem is and how you're going to fix it. And you got to sell them on this idea that, hey, this guy can fix it, knowing that they have no idea what your skill set is. Your skill set is not how much you know about all these technical things. They don't care. They don't care about your technical knowledge. They're just trying to decide whether or not they like you. 100%. Now, I understand as a business model for them, that's probably not the best way to go about it. You can like somebody that's really personable, but they will. If they like you, they may make a tragic mistake. So I always tell people, hey, listen, you got a contractor, he's come to your house, ask your neighbors. Your neighbors have no reason to lie to you. Mm-hmm. If you cannot establish a positive relationship that lasts beyond a single transaction, that word of mouth is not going to go out, not in a way that's infectious, and it just causes that street to go like dominoes, with everybody referring you. Man, I'll tell you, it's hard not to get a big head. It's hard not to get a big head when people are going, oh man, you're the greatest guy we ever had. Mm-hmm. You got to have humility. You got to understand it's about their problem. Yeah, it's going to pay you. You're going to get some money. You're going to get some profit. You're going to live to fight another day. But you can't be so hung up on your perspective that you fail to hear theirs.
100%. And I saw you in a neighborhood of 500 homes. You had 200 homes. You're just pointing. That's my house. That's my house. I've been in that one. I haven't been in that one. I've been in that one. Like that's amazing right there. And one thing that I do want to bring up to the audience is, and this is funny because I've talked to a lot of business owners that have been in business and have had a Google page longer than you have, but in 6 months you got 90 reviews. What's your secret to increase the amount of Google reviews you've been receiving in the 6 months that you've had your Google page?
Well, you got to ask.
Yep, you got to ask.
Let me tell you something about customers. They're going to do whatever's easy. We live in a reality where they're going to find you by whatever mechanism is easy. They're going to go in their pocket and they're going to say, plumbing contractor near me, HVAC contractor near me, electrician near me. They're going to go to the phone. That's the way it works. They understand technology. Okay. But once they've got the hook and you're there, man, honestly, they're not empathetic listeners. They're not tuned in to what you need. You got to let them know. You got to ask. We have these. Hey, hold on that. Don't go anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere. Small intermission. I'll pause it.
Ready?
Ready.
The Google card.
Yeah, the Google card.
The Google card. It's what do you call those things? Near contact or something?
NFC.
NFC. Yeah, that's your business, not mine. So all you got to do is you got the card and you got a phone. You put them in close proximity. It pulls up the link. All I got to do is bump it, and there's the 5-star review. You make it easy. When I get up in my morning, right after I put my shirt and deodorant on, I put my shirt down, my card down here, and I go out and attack the day. as part of my presentation, I said, hey, we want you to have a 5-star experience. We want you 100% to be satisfied. We're going to hit you up with a request. At the end of this, we want the 5-star review. If one of my guys puts a thumbprint on your wall, and that's the difference between 5 and 4, let me know. You never know what drives a terrible review or a 5-star review, because people are so different one from another.
I
But
think
if you lay out the expectation,
yeah.
lay out the expectation and ask for the review. When you get done, you've already told them, hey, is there any reason why we can't get that 5-star review? Now, if you go at it with that mindset, 100% of the time you're getting a 5-star review.
Yeah,
100%.
I know business
100%.
owners that just after the job's done, they'll wait a few weeks out and then they send a link and then they get upset that they don't get a review.
Toast. They're toast. Number one, people just want to do what's easy. You fix their problem. It's not in the front of their mind anymore. They're thinking about they got to get that passport thing. They're thinking about they got to pay their tax bill. They're thinking about their kid needs braces. You are not on their mind. Dude, get over yourself. You have to put yourself in their mind, and you do that when you walk through the door. Say, hey, I'm Alan Norris. Tell me what's going on. Listen. Okay, we're going to fix it. I guarantee we can fix it. We're going to figure out some things. There's going to be A, B, C, D, all these different things you can do. It will be your choice. Nobody's going to pressure you. We just want you to have a good experience and get a solution to your problem. Now, at the end of the day, when we're finished and we're ready to roll out, we're going to ask for a 5-star review. Okay. Put it back up. Go do your job. Now, at the time that you're there, you're presenting your invoice, whatever, they're paying you, however that works. You got paper tickets, you got electronic billing, whatever you got. Say, hey, were you satisfied? Is there anything else I can do for you? We want this experience to be perfect. We want you to tell all your neighbors. And they go, oh, no, it's perfect. Bam. Hey, hit me up. Listen, I appreciate you calling us. I really appreciate you calling us. But the world that we live in, there's no more yellow pages. It's all Google. Google's king, and we need this.
100%.
He helps you. Help us. We need it. Be humble. They'll do it. If you let 30 seconds go by, you'll never get it. You don't get it before you leave the kitchen table, you're not getting it. Ask me how I know.
Yeah, and a tip out there, if anyone has an iPhone and you're asking for that, they need to log into their Gmail. If they have an Android, they're already logged into their Gmail. So if you see an Android, it's going to be a seamless problem, or a Samsung, super easy. But an iPhone, it's going to require them to log into the email. And some homeowners, the older ones, are going to have a hard time doing that. Have you had any other ways around that?
No, you got to ask. If they whip out something that looks like an iPhone, and you got an iPhone, you recognize an iPhone, you say, hey, do you have a Gmail? And they say, oh, I don't do Gmail. I do iPhone, I don't do Gmail. Boom, you're done. What you got to do is steer them to your Google business listing. Say, hey, just take your phone and go to do Alan Norris HVAC, Google search, or any search. It'll come up if you got any kind of ranking at all. And there it'll be. Remember, the card is just a link. They can manually go to the link themselves for doing any kind of search. Mm-hmm. But you got to kind of steer them. I always ask 2 questions. If they whip out an iPhone, oh, do you have a Gmail? Oh, no, I don't have a Gmail. No, then forget it. This card, just put it back up. You're done with that. Just say, hey, take your phone, do Alan Norris HVAC, and it'll come up. If it doesn't, call that guy. They know how to make those things work. Mm-hmm. I never knew it existed, but we did, man. And people were saying, oh man, whoa, stop. You're getting too big, too many reviews per day. It looks like you're cheating the system. So you got to kind of slow down. I don't know about all that. I don't know there's too much. But somebody that tells me they've been in business for 5 years, they've had a business Google listing for 5 years, and they got 18 reviews, bro, they're not trying. They're not trying. You got to ask.
I called a guy today, and he's been in business for half a century, 50 years, 3 reviews, one's a 5-star, one's a 4-star, one's a 1-star. So on Google, it shows 50 years, 3 stars, and it just doesn't look good, So it's just it's crazy to me.
And he has a mindset problem. Now, understand, guys, I'm 57 years old. For 20 years, I said, I'm going to do the work. Yeah. I'm going to do work like Ep Lake, and boom, everything will just fall into place. That's not the world we live in, guys. You have to work in the world as it is, not in the world that maybe you grew up in or you wish that was. Okay. Google is king. Like it, love it, hate it, whatever. You got to work with it.
100%. And I just feel like there's a lot of pushback towards it, which it feels like you might have had a little bit of pushback. So what was that switch in your mind when you're like, okay, got to give in to modern day advertising and I got to start doing this?
Two things. Number one, when I got started, I said, I will be the best in my market. I had a poor definition of what the best meant, because you can be the absolute best in your market and nobody knows who you are. You'll go out of business. There are people that are competitors of yours that are out marketing you who are not as good as you, and they're doing fine. Mm-hmm. So, number two, a guy that I met said, hey, man, clearly you are an outstanding air conditioning guy. I get it. I've seen a lot of them. Nobody knows who you are. I never heard of you. I live right down the street from you. So that concept to me just got solidified. How I become to be aware of the problem was this. I was the only HVAC contractor in my zip code, in my county. And, I was just there working, whatever. And then I started to see others. And there were guys I knew were younger than me. They had newer air conditioning license numbers than me. So I go, wow, these guys are 15 years younger than me. Their company is 8 years old. Mine's 20, and they're killing it. And they got, more trucks and more guys and more presence. What's going on? Well, I just didn't have any presence. So I started thinking, I got to get a media presence. But I didn't know what it was. I'm 57 years old, man. Mm-hmm. 30 years ago, the internet was, America Online or whatever.
Yeah, AOL.
It's a totally different reality, and you got to get on board. You have to get on board. I don't care how old you are. It's not too late. But the guy who's been in business for 50 years, he may be too calcified in his thinking to be able to change.
He doesn't.
If you don't change, you're gonna get left behind.
I hope it doesn't see his podcast. I'm not throwing rocks, but he's still.
No, but here's the thing, man. That's a choice. That is absolutely a choice.
He's still using paper sheets. He's not using a CRM like House Call Pro or Service Titan. He's just using paper sheets to log everything.
We did forever, man. 18 years out of 20. Man, I'd write on anything. Notebook paper, something out of the printer,
the wall.
Post-it notes. All the young kids go, man, throw your pen away. You got technology. Just throw that crap away. And I'm like, But we did start migrating to technology. And I said, hey, you know what? It's better. I had customers that call and they say, I have a problem. And so, I pick up my phone. I use House Call Pro. There's Service Titan. There's other ones out there. But I use House Call Pro. And so when they call me now, I've been doing it for 2 years, and they say, hey, this is Bob Jackson. I say, hey, Bob Jackson, you still at 123 Anytown Street? Oh, really? You know me? Yeah, kind of. But you got technology that you can use. Your competitors are going to use it.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is you want to be as even as you can with all of the things that your competitors are going to do. And then you want to be better in some way so that you can get one step ahead of them.
100%. That's how you do it. So what are you doing right now so you're getting even with them, but what are you doing to be better than them and be 1-2 steps ahead of them? What are you doing right now?
Well, I study them, man. I study everything. So in the air conditioning business, I tell you, customers do not care about 2-stage air conditioners versus single stage air conditioners, 10 SEER, 13 SEER, R22, 14. They don't hear all that, but you better know. So we go to every single training that we can get to. The manufacturers, they all come around in the shoulder seasons and they say, hey, we're having training on this or that. We go to every training we can go to. So we can be as technically savvy as we can. Because your presentation is going to be such that you're believable or not. And if you're stumbling over concepts and stuff, they don't know what you're talking about, but they can see you struggling. You got to know your business. Marketing, your office function, how you manage your leads, how you manage your site visit, how you sell, how you manage that golden process. When I say golden process, I mean your customer's not ever going to call and say, hey, Alan, listen, man, I need you to generate a little bit more leads this week and maybe run some more deposits down the bank and talk to your accountant. They're never going to call you and say these things. Well, they're going to call you and say, I need my air conditioner fixed. But you have to do all that other stuff every time. So every single process that you do, you need to figure out how to be leaner, meaner, stronger, clearer in your focus. You need to know what your processes are. So that's one of the things we do. I keep pointing over there because that's my whiteboard. And you guys can't see it, but we have a whiteboard and it starts off with a funnel. The funnel is just our portal to the world. Everything comes to us through the funnel. And it goes through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 processes. The first one is the funnel, and the last one is the dollar sign. That means go to the bank and deposit money.
Okay.
Between the funnel and deposit money, there's all these different processes. They're only going to call you about one process. I need my air conditioner fixed. All the rest of it, you got to be insanely good at. So you need to think about every single day. How do I get better? What am I doing wrong? How could this day have gone better? So as far as getting ahead of competitors, you got to be leaner. You got to be faster. You got to get there, get in, get the job done, get paid. There's no room for fiddling around and error. It is an intensely competitive business that we find ourselves in.
Yeah, 100%. So when it comes down to that, you have 20 years of expertise, but to those guys that are less than 2 years in it, what are pieces of advice you'd give them so that they don't have to go through they don't have to fall in the trenches that you did? They can kind of go over those because they spent a minute or two watching this video and listening to your advice.
One thing, find a mentor. Find a mentor. If you are a really chubby guy and you say, man, I want 6-pack abs, are you going to take advice from a guy who's chubbier than you are? You're going to go to a guy that looks like Arnold.
Yeah.
Right? Find a mentor. Find somebody who is successful. Find somebody who is successful doing the things that you want to do. If you say, hey, I'd like to have 5 trucks. Well, maybe you don't go talk to the guy who's got 50 trucks. Maybe you talk to the guy who's got 10 trucks, Number
so
one.
when you say mentor, like you're not talking about like going to a Grant Cardone event or like an Andy Elliott event. You're talking like go
No,
talk
those
to
are
the
specialized things.
yeah.
Those are specialized things. Those are like how to use robotic tweezers to do open heart surgery. That's highly specialized. Those are all good things. You will never go and pay money to somebody who's going to tell you all the answers to all your problems.
Yeah.
What you want to do is find that seasoned person. If you find somebody who's older and seasoned and successful, and they're saying, hey, I did this, I did that, and whatever, they will give you helpful information. Cultivate that relationship. Be humble. Say, hey, listen, man, I'm struggling. Man, the worst thing about young guys, they know every damn thing. Okay. That's the worst thing about young guys. Yeah. And for old guys, man, this guy won't be here in 5 years. You got to listen. You got to listen to customers. You got to listen to mentors. You got to listen to the market. You got to listen to everything. Mm-hmm. And you've got to go to school on the things that you see and hear. You cannot hear things if you're running your mouth. Oh, I know this, I know that. Everybody knows all that stuff, man. Nobody cares. What you don't know is the thing that you need to attack. Find a mentor. Read. Okay. Read. Go online. Study. Take classes. Feed your brain.
Would this person that's new, do you think they're going to have any setbacks trying to find a mentor in their own marketplace? Like, do they need to leave the city from a competitor that's not there? Because there might be people out there that don't want to. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Now, a smart person who is your competitor in your market, they're not going to tell you anything, because if they think you're smart, hey, this is our next biggest problem. If they think you're not too smart, they'll talk to you all day long. If you find your biggest competitor is talking to you all day long, you need to really think about how smart you are and whether or not this is what you need to be doing. Maybe you need to go get a job somewhere. Guys, it's tough. You need all the help you can get. You need to be humble and listen. Find those mentors. Now, how do you find a mentor? How I find mentors is I ask for people who have relationships with one person or another, and I try to build relationships, because it's like a web. You build one connection and you build another one, you build another one, you build another one. So just ask. So every one of you guys that does HVAC or electrical or whatever the heck you guys might be doing is, somebody who is a technical expert in your field. It may be the guy you call and say, hey, listen, I've got an inverter system and it's not working. And he says, well, measure this, measure that. Okay. You need to make a relationship with that person that sticks in their mind, and maybe call them sometime when you don't need anything. Say, hey, you took my call last week and I really, really appreciate that, man. Most of the people who have a lot of water in their well, they got a bunch of people coming to the well. They very rarely ever talk to anybody who doesn't need anything that says, hey, I appreciate what you did for me a month ago. That sticks out in their mind. Relationship building. You go to that person, say that guy, and you say, hey, listen, I'm really having a trouble with this aspect of my business. Do you know anybody who might help? And they go, oh, well, there's a guy in Alabama who runs a program. Alabama. They're not your competitor. You're in Georgia. Go there. You're going to meet other contractors. Here's the funny thing. People that are contractors that are not your competitors, man, they just get diarrhea of the mouth. They tell you all kinds of good things. Mm-hmm. It's a phenomenon because they're not threatened by you, right?
Yeah.
That's my advice.
That's very good. Well, I asked that because there's two people that I've had. Well, one of them's been on the podcast, and the other one, he's 2 months, gonna be 3 months in when I send this to him. But I'm thinking of them, and I'm like, they're very smart and they're very bright, and I want to see if I can pull anything from an OG right here and send it to them, right? Because I know that they're gonna find value from this, right?
How's that going for you?
It's going good, man. Trying to. So 3 locations. For all you that don't know, I might be buying an HVAC business. I might be partnering up, depending. It's going to be really cool. Like, no other digital agencies own an HVAC business. And if they do, like, I don't know who they are. but like Alex Harmozy, all these big speakers, they were in the business and they had a community where they grew their own business, so their gym business, and then they showed other people how they did it, right? So I don't have a lot of authority in the HVAC world other than having 7 clients and generating a lot of leads. So my big plan is to partner up with an HVAC owner or an HVAC business, and be there in the business, build them up, scale them to a large goal, 5 trucks, 10 trucks, whatever it is, and then show other HVAC business owners the exact processes we did and build a community out of that. So that's my 10-15 year long plan that I'm working on. But Alan gave us a lot of good insights. So right now, it looks like Alabama, Lucas Elliott, the guy I connected you with, we might be working out something together, which is different from the guy in Denver. But yeah, man, I'm excited about it. It's very scary. The more I learn about HVAC, the more I learn. You guys, this is not an easy business. It is hard. It is so freaking hard. You go through daily roller coasters, up and downs. It's not slow pace whatsoever. But that's what I like, and I like. It's like a beast, you know. It's a big monster we got to slay, right? And it's those things that I want to get in now, so that 15 years from now I'll probably be my math doesn't do good, but I'll probably be in late 30s, early 40s, right? So when I'm there, HVAC's gonna be completely different. There's gonna be new technology, all this new stuff, right? EPA is like changing the game every 2 years, it seems like, with all these new rules. So everything's ever changing in HVAC.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a big problem for all of us. I know so many smart people that have had a lot of success, and they're going, "Hey, man, the changes that are coming, they're just so many and so hard and so fast, man. You know what? I was going to get out, man. I'll be a greeter at Home Depot. I had enough."
Peter at Home Depot. It's
Dude,
true though. It's true.
In every difficulty, there's opportunity, because difficulties wipe out your competitors. Now there's a lot of challenges. I know that you guys that are in the business have been there for a while. You're starting to see that, man, so many companies are being bought up by bigger and bigger and bigger companies.
Yep.
What happens if the air conditioning business becomes like Amazon? There's only one source to go and get air conditioning.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen in our lifetime, but Walmart didn't think it would happen to them.
Yeah.
You think Walmart feels the impact of Amazon?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, there's always going to be challenges, but either you do or you don't. There is no try.
Hey, so my last topic is I want to talk about the rising prices. So units are going to go up. Like all the capacitors, the manufacturers are saying, I read an article that everything's going to go up by 20%. So when homeowners already ask you, hey, why is it this much? You just sat there for 10 minutes and you're charging me X amount of dollars, or why is this unit so much? Like, what do you tell them? Like, what's your way to handle that question of why is it this much? You only spent 10 minutes,
Me? I get it. I understand. It's tough. Everybody has all these rising prices, and I'm the only one that has the guts to come in your house and say, this is what it cost. I didn't make all this, and you got to understand that it's the price of eggs, it's the price of ketchup, it's the price of steak, it's the price of a new car, it's the price of a house, it's everything. They understand it. When they're bitching about price, they're just frustrated. They're not mad with you. So you got to listen. Just let them get it out. I know it is. It's terrible. And it's heartbreaking in some cases, because some people can't afford to get what they need. They don't have the money. They don't have the credit. Maybe they don't work anymore. Maybe they're on fixed income. It's tough. It really is tough. It's like everything else I said, just be an empathetic listener. Just say, hey, I'm there with you. I understand what you're saying. It's the same for all of us in every aspect of life. I can't believe what we had to pay to get our car fixed. It's crazy.
Yeah, man, that's a lot. With the car fix, I just spent $1,800 and it broke down 3 days later. And now I gotta go send it to the shop again.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm going to a different shop though now.
yeah. And that's the thing, my son's car broke down, failed emissions, and they said it came back and it had like 4 things that it failed. Well, it was great last year, and took it to Subaru, and they said, "Hey, well, you need a $5,800 fix. That's like, 2 catalytic converters. You need 2 this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah." And I said, "Wait a minute now. You had 4 simultaneous failures." I did a little studying and a little thinking, and I said, I work on things. All these things rely on signals. If you have a poor electrical signal, I was thinking like maybe there's a bad ground somewhere in the electrical system, whatever. And I said, hey, you know what? Maybe it's a bad battery. I went to AutoZone, bought a battery, put it in the car. All the stuff was fixed. These guys would have charged me nearly $6,000 and put all this stuff in there, would have had the same problems. Go, oh yeah, we forgot you also need a new battery. Guys, it always comes down to this. People will spend money, even though they don't want to, but when times are hard and prices are high, they damn sure ain't going to spend money with somebody they don't trust. So establish trust. The only way to establish trust is be honest, listen to what people are saying, and respond to what they're telling you their need is. Okay.
100%.
And, you may go in there and you may say, hey, I'm hearing this person and they're saying, I just need a Band-Aid. You go, okay, I hear what you're saying, but let me tell you, so here's the minimum that you can do. And here's what the other insane end of the spectrum looks like. And here's different things you can do along the way. Just give it to them. Other people like to work from the top down. Oh, it's 20,000. Oh, you don't like that? Well, I got 15,000. Dude, they smell salesmen all over you. I'll lay it out like this. Here's a Band-Aid. Here's a Ferrari. That's the range of things. Whatever you're comfortable with is what we'll do. There's more risk in a Band-Aid. You got a brand new warranty with the Ferrari, and it's exquisite. Just tell me, where it is. You'd be amazed how these people that didn't have any money all of a sudden says, I want that Ferrari. Don't believe it. Look what people are driving on the highway. People are always going to complain about price. Of course they are.
Yeah.
I go and bitch about the price of bacon and then buy bacon. It's human nature. You cannot take it personal. You got to know what you're about. Listen to your customer, lay out a solution, see what happens.
100%. Well, I'm excited to share this clip with two of my buddies. I can't wait to launch this. Is a good one. I appreciate the conversation. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day, because I ran with you, bro. You're busy, man. You're freaking busy. So I appreciate it a lot.
So last night, let me tell you, so you guys don't know, like we had this thing that was set up, and I was like, man, that's coming up tomorrow. We're going to do the podcast. And it's like 9:30 at night. And I've been going since like 5:30 that morning. I was like, geez, man, I'm so tired. Oh, gosh, man. You got to call Brandon. Make a video. Hey, this is Alan Norris. It's 9:30 at night. I'm worn out, but I got the sauce, baby. I'll see you tomorrow. Never let your personal bullshit get in the way of your success, man. Find that extra energy and do what you got to do. Just punch through.
100%. 100%. Well, also, thanks for the shirt. I love it.
Oh, yeah, it looks good on you, man.
Thanks,
man, you're
man.
all swole.
Yeah, 100%. Swole, bro. So let's do this for the thumbnail on YouTube, a little pose. Yeah, man, that's for the YouTube right there. But I appreciate it. But thanks again. Thanks to everyone. Make sure to like and subscribe to the HVAC podcast. We have weekly showings with great HVAC owners, sales guys, techs. If they're in HVAC, we want them on. So if you want to be on the podcast, feel free to message me at brandon@rapidmediaco.com. Alan, anything else before we log off?
No, man, just listen, man. It's really simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Be honest. Listen to what people are saying. Give it your best. Don't take shortcuts. Everything works out. And find a mentor. Find a mentor. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Awesome. All right, guys. Bye-bye.